Today we're going to make a pop filter only using the items on this table. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. Think magazine, put in the geek, you got Geekazine. Also, how to record podcasts. The website actually been 1 year since I launched how to record podcasts. Really excited about that. Got some great articles up on the website about podcasting, video podcasting, creating items, and everything else. So check it out over at howtorecordpodcasts.com. Today we're going to talk about pop filters and windscreens and what you should use for podcasting. And if you don't have a pop filter, I'm going to show you how to make one. But first of all, we're going to talk about pop filters and windscreens because there's a big difference between both. This is a windscreen for a microphone. Basically, what it's meant for is when you're talking, you get that microphone up close to the mouth. You want this windscreen to actually to block some of the what are called plosives. These are things like when you say a B, when you say a P, when you say even the high ends like an S or an H. Those are all plosives. And basically what happens is inside each microphone, whether it be a ribbon microphone or a dynamic microphone, you have a capsule and they need to vibrate to make sound happen. If you've got a powerful sound going through the microphone, it basically pushes these vibrating points to their limit so they can't move anymore. And that causes what's called clipping. So with a ribbon microphone, you think of it like a little piece of ribbon in there, except it's metal, and it's moving around. All of a sudden you say P, and it hits all the way to the side, and it has nowhere to go. That clips. Same thing with the dynamic microphone. It's a little bubble, and when that bubble cannot vibrate because it's pushed down so hard, it clips. So what we do is we put in windscreens to make sure that all the P's, all the B's, all the S's, all the H's go through and not make the ribbon or the bubble push to their extreme point and clip out. Now, if you look at a microphone, you'll notice that it's already got grates around it, metal grates, and if you even opened it up, we could take off this microphone cap, which you'll see right here. Inside there is a type of foam in there that will continue and help with the plosives here. And as you can see, the windscreen itself is a grate, and usually metal, sometimes plastic. Metal if you have a higher end microphone, and you can always buy grates. Like let's say this one got really dirty, bent up and stuff like that. I can actually buy a replacement. I actually did buy a replacement for this SM58. But then you have the windscreen. The windscreen will add protection to the sound of this for your plosives. Now, if you're doing like a one-on-one recording situation, if you're outside, it helps with the wind. So when you're talking and the wind starts blowing through, it's catching some of that wind and dispersing it before it hits into the capsule. So your vocals go through, but nothing else does. So this is really nice in a interview situation or if you're always very close to your microphone. However, some of these microphones, people want to have you a little bit farther away. They don't want you to spit onto the microphone, keep it clean. And of course, they would want to make sure that you don't hit those plosives, B's, P's, H's, and S's. So basically what you do is you create a pop filter. Now a pop filter, what that does, it's a hoop that goes around the microphone. It's about 6 to 8 inches away from the microphone. So when you're talking on the microphone, I'll do it from here, you're talking from a distance instead of putting your mouth straight up to the microphone. By doing that, like I said, you keep the spit off the microphone, you keep it nice and clean, you keep it at a good distance, your microphone can continue to pick up sound without clipping. So today, what I want to do is I want to show you how to make your own pop filter. It's actually very, very cool, very, very easy to do. Now, in days past, a lot of people would say, take a metal coat hanger, pull it apart, bend it into a circle, put a piece of nylon in it, tie it to your microphone stand, poof, you've got a pop filter. Well, there's some problems with that. The first problem is they don't make metal hangers anymore. So if you do have a metal hanger that you want to use for MacGyver tricks like that, you want to keep those hangers in your stash. Second of all, nylon is a good material to use. However, you want to have something with a little bit more spaced holes into it. Because the closer that the threads are together, the more it'll actually block the sound than push the sound through and block the plosives. A lot of pop screens that you would see inside of a recording studio are actually made of metal. not of nylon or cloth or anything like that. But I've got a couple options here that you can use. In fact, we're going to use one of those options, and that's nylon, because nylon actually is a little bit thicker, a little bit more sturdier, and brings it out. Here's what happens. When you use the pop filter, you want it to push the sound through, and with the pop filter, the holes will actually separate the S's, separate the P's. Kind of like having 4 or 5 people blocking you as opposed to a whole line of people blocking you holding hands. You will get through 4 or 5 people as opposed to 10 people that are interlocking arms together. And that's what we want to do. And this type of filter, actually, this windscreen actually does that more than a pop filter. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to make your own pop filter. Go down to the craft store. You spend about $10 and you've got the pop filter. The tough part is actually taking the pop filter and making a clip for it. And I got a way to do that here. So what I have here, this is one of those cross-stitch hoops you might have. If you have a friend that does any type of cross-stitch or knitting or anything like that, they might be using one of these hoops. This is an actual 6-inch hoop. You can get them in 9-inch sizes. You can get them in 2-inch sizes. If you want a small hoop, if you want a big hoop. The reality is, as long as it encompasses the microphone itself, you can have it as big and as small as you want. So I figured 6 inches would be nice. And of course, I got a nice sky blue here so you can see the hoop, of course. Next thing I got, there's many different types of material. Like I said, you can use nylons like stockings. However, if you do use nylons, one thing a lot of people will do is they'll take the nylons and they'll just cover it over the hoop. And what that does is it actually gives you 2 surfaces to pass through, which could be more problematic if you're trying to get the right sound and you still want those high and low frequencies going into the microphone. So here's what I got here. I actually, at the craft store, I found the nylon knitting for the cross stitch, and I'm just going to use that. Now, what else you can use is if you've got screen door material, either nylon or actually metal screen door material, the metal will actually work better than the nylon because it'll bounce sound a little bit better. And of course, like I said, it'll disperse the S's, it'll disperse the P's and B's so it doesn't hit the microphone all in one place. It'll hit a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, so on. But what I'm going to use is this because this was convenient to get at the craft store, and I got everything at the craft store. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hoop. Now the hoop separates into 2 parts. You got this part and then the locking part. I'm going to take this, and you feel on the hoop, there's like a little edge on the hoop, so that's going to be your back side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that with the back side right here, and I'm going to flip it over. So now the hoop is around, then the back side is on the table. What I'm then going to do is, and there's no determination which side's the front, which side's the back. I'm guessing with the 6, that might be the front right there. So I'm going to take that, and I'm just going to place that around the hoop. Stuff it in there a little bit, and I want to tighten it on the sides. I don't, think of it like a drum. When you're tightening a drum, you don't want to have any bubbles or anything like that. So kind of feel around. If you feel a bubble, just stretch around the area that you feel the bubble and get it kind of nice and tight. And then when you're done, make sure that it's all pushed in. And then you take that little screw right here and you tighten it up. And you take a scissors, once you've tightened it up and you've got it nice and stretched, and you cut around. I'm not going to cut it just yet because there's one more thing that we're going to do before we finish this up. So when it's all said and done, I'm actually going to cut it around and get rid of this excess right here. So basically, this is what your pop filter looks like. If you look into it, you'll actually be able to see through it, and there won't be any problems. But when you talk through it, you'll actually feel, if I'm going to do it this way, when you talk through it and you say things like, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, you'll actually hear and feel that screen kind of bounce back and forth. That's what it's doing. It's taking those plosives and pushing it through, and like I said, it's pushing a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, dispersing it so it doesn't hit the microphone as hard. Now here's what you want to do at this point. With the microphone, you want to make sure you're going to be about 6 to 8 inches, or about a hand's length away from the microphone. So when you're close up to the microphone, you've got a good distance between the microphone. by doing this, you can hold this this pop filter like this. There's no reason not to if you're just doing a regular audio recording. But if you need to be hands-free, you got to get a little bit creative and create a clamp for this. Now, I went down to the basement and I found this thing right here from another project. It's just a T-bar that you can get at any home improvement store. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this T-piece and we're going to put it onto the clamp. Now, as you can see from this side, we can't put it right here or else it's just going to go back and forth. We're going to have to put it right here where the screw comes in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the screw and we're going to hold onto the hoop so we don't have to readjust it, retighten it too much. And then, and then we're going to take the T-piece and put it right in there. And then we're going to take the screw and we're going to put it back in. Before I fully tighten it up, I want to make sure that I'm still tight and this is still a nice taut piece of fabric, PPP, there we go. And then I go and tighten up this piece. There. Now I have more of a handle for my pop screen. So when I'm talking in front of it, I can hold it by the handle. Now, I've purchased this before. This is actually a clamp where I can put a light on, I can put another microphone or even another camera on to this stand so I can move things around, use it. This is a really nice piece. I got it on Amazon for like $20. And the cool thing about this clamp is when I tighten it, that's when it stiffens up. If I loosen it, everything just kind of drops. So you also get some extra pieces like this screw right here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add this to my pop filter, and that is going to be my arm that holds it to the stand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how it's going to set in the stand, probably something like this. And when I'm ready, I got everything ready. I'm just going to tighten this up. And poof, there's my arm right here. So now I can take this arm, as you can see with the pop filter and the arm, I can take this and bring over my microphone and I can adjust this onto my stand. Now I'm going to have to do some post adjusting really quick because of the fact that it's not totally on the microphone. I'm going to have to turn this so this also sits on an area of the microphone so it doesn't tip over. Here is the end result. I've got a pop filter with a nice blue color. I've got my microphone, and it's less than 6 inches. I can actually move it out so it is a little bit farther away, but it is a good distance between the microphones. So when I talk, it will not be up close to the microphone. It will help with the plosives. Plus the screen will disperse the sound so the plosives don't happen. The only thing I have to do at this point is cut off the edges. Now, with all the edges cut, as you can see, the pop filter is a lot better. And this is not the normal stand that I'd have on here. If I had a cord on it, it would be a little bit more back heavy, and I could actually do this to make it a little bit more stable. So when I talk into the filter, it won't fall over. But you get the idea here. Now, with these hoops, there's two things you can do. With this hoop here, you could actually glue it together with super glue or bonding glue or anything like that. You can also experiment with different types of materials. So let's say you want to use this nylon material, but you also get a voice in that has a little bit more higher range, and you want to have something, you want to exchange it out to a metal screen or something like that. You could easily do that. As you can see from the side view here, we have the pop filter, we have a distance to the microphone. And especially with a ribbon microphone, this will be very helpful, very useful, killing of a lot of the sounds, and also preserving the range that certain microphones have from 20 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz, so you can get all the range of sound. So here it is, the stuff that you use from your home craft store. You can even go to your home improvement store and get some better material. Remember, metal works a little bit better. You want to make sure you have holes that will push sound through so it disperses it rather than directs it straight towards the microphone. So the S's, the P's, the B's don't create plosives and therefore clip your microphone. That's it. If you have any questions on that, feel free to Twitter me. Geekazine is the main Twitter, of course. Over at How to Record Podcasts, we have Record a Podcast. That's the Twitter handle there. You can also go to the websites and go to the contact forms, ask me any question there. Subscribe over on youtube.com/Geekazine for all of these how-to videos. We've got a couple up there, and I'm going to be doing some more as we go. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time where we'll take something else and we'll create it for your podcasting needs.